setting properly. Hi guys, how are you doing? I'm trying to set up this thing here that is giving me some problem. Whoa, it's not going in properly. Oops. Oops. Hi guys, how are you doing? Happy to be on. Now today I want to talk a little about a little of everything that is possible. Okay? A little of everything. Welcome to the live chat. Just remember to guard your privacy and abide by our community guidelines. Okay, some happy moments of good news. The netball team had played, and I guess it's the younger ones, and they have done exceptionally well. Exceptionally well. And also, the weather is not that bad today. It's still snow on the ground, but it is a little bit more better than the day before. I don't know if later it's going to get too cold, but we have to take it as it comes and try to enjoy as much. There's sunshine outside, and it's still, I would say it's a beautiful day so far. Now, most persons may be having lunch, maybe taking a look at what Auntie D is saying. I haven't seen anybody come on and, yeah, welcome, welcome, somebody is on. And I know most persons having their lunch or lunch break, or they're busy trying to do something. But I am still happy that somebody is able to come on and others will come on for more time as well. Happy to have you guys. Now, how have you been getting on? How have things been going for you? How have your morning been? How has the day been progressing for you? Okay, I have seen where in the media where the ICE has been going around and doing what they're advised to do. And I do hope that persons will try to get things straightened out before so they can, be within the ambits of the law, because it's not nice. Persons who have left and they are back, they are here in the country and things not going the way it should for them. So I'm just hoping that something will turn up for them where they can be having less fear of being deported. So I'm just praying and hope that all concerned persons will get a reprieve where they can be given some time or some conditions to help them to make their process legal. Sometimes we take things simple and we go along because we're not pushed. But seeing as things have taken a turn now where it is in a serious mode, we have to encourage persons to make sure that they are legal. If you're undocumented, try get into the thing, get to your lawyer, do what you're supposed to do. And that is why I always say to persons, when you're working, try and put up something, because you never know when you will have to resort to pulling out, "Hi Melinda, how are you doing? Welcome." Right? You may never know when you're going to need some money at a certain time and you're not able to get all of that in, right? And if you didn't save anything, you may not be able to do any withdrawal, because persons may be hard pressed for cash to lend, not knowing if they're going to get it back. So whatever the salary is that you're getting, put away a little bit. We know that things are expensive at the grocery store, you have bills to pay and all of that, but still ensure that something is put up. Okay. Now, also, I want to encourage persons that when they come on, they can pose a question. I always encourage persons to pose a question and we can go with it. Or I don't like you to just sit and just listen to me alone speaking and I'm not hearing from you. And sometimes you guys come on and peep at me and you run away and leave me alone. That's not nice. I want you to stay on, right? Anyway, on to something else now. How how can we best? Welcome, Kajun. Hey, how are you? How are you? Happy to have you. Happy to have you. Blessings. How can we? Persons are from different country, yes, but how can you? How do you see yourselves in the next? I would say 5 years. The next say 5 years. So where do you see yourself? What do you see yourself doing? Good. Okay. Thank you. I'm good too. I'm being thankful. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Are you expected to be at the same level that you're at? Not move, so not showing any form of growth. What do you plan to do? Are you out of school? Are you working? Do you have a job that will help you to move into a career? Or you are just into a job that occupies the time and they are going with the wind and the time that whatever comes, you just go with it. And then it's like you're an apprentice. You're not learning, you're not upgrading, you won't be more you don't have any upward mobility to go towards. You're just going to be there, just passing the time. How long do you plan to stay in a situation where you're just passing the time? How long? Because it couldn't be forever. Because at a certain age, you have to think about a family. And a family doesn't mean that you have to have a biological child, because not all persons can have biological children. But you're not able to, you know from early, so you do an adoption. Because when one gets older, they need help. You need help. Your parents would have been probably gone on, so you would have to have your set now to help prepare you to go on, right? So that's why I always say that persons have to try to do some savings, plan ahead. You set a goal, try to, how are you going to achieve the goal? You need to go to college. You need to go and study to upgrade yourself. What are you going to do? Are you going to just sit around hoping that somebody will serve for you and request for you to encourage you to go in, or you're going to start with the little that you have so that somebody can see you trying and help you to move on? What are your goals? What do you plan to do? How are you going to reach them? Right? Think about it and let me know. Okay. Now, I'm now going to look at um, our immediate environment. Our immediate environment means that immediate, maybe in your home, in the community. Is it an environment that thrives well with children, or is it an environment that has mainly elderly persons? I am not against elderly persons. What I'm trying to say is, if there are no young people in the community or in that environment, it would appear as if the environment is moving away, because people migrate, they move away from a community. For example, you grow up in a community and you're older and you have your family. Most times, these persons move on to other communities to live. Sometimes they go to other states, other countries. Sometimes they go nearby the community to live. So, therefore, you may have a brain drain. You have your children now. There's nobody there for them to emulate. Nobody there for them to emulate. So, what are they going to do now? They are going to become unhappy, and you're going to become unhappy, and then you're all going to move away, right? So sometimes businesses has to be developed to where persons can be employed in the form of factories, different types of business. So the community or the environment becomes widened, and you have a wide cross section of persons now moving in, right? Wide cross section. Maybe they have a housing development. So persons from other communities would interchanging. And persons working at a particular place, instead of traveling so many long distances to get to their jobs, they maybe could stay works right at home where there's an affordable job, right? Something that you can enjoy doing, because you're not going to want to stuck with the same people you grew up with. You get old, it's the same people then. So sometimes you have people going integration, in and out, in and out, right? Okay. Now I'm looking. I don't see anybody put any. I see three persons comment. I don't see anybody put anything. Okay, I want to spend a little time before leaving out. I'll be going to work shortly, but I said, let me spend some time with you guys before going off. So I do hope you are ready to fire some questions at me. Okay, I'm trying to see. Okay, let me go a little further. Wherever you are living, whichever country or state you are in at the moment, do you think enough is being done towards helping persons who are in need of houses? Are the houses expensive? They cannot afford it? Are there jobs available in the community? Are there facilities for health benefits where you can go to get the medical attention you need, or you can go to get what other things that you need for yourselves and your family? Or is it a community where nobody visits, so it's all overgrown with shrubs, so nobody pays any attention to those persons living in those communities? Are you an abandoned community? Wherever you are living, how how are you coping? How are you coping? Um, do tourists visit your community to learn? Do persons come into your community to know about your community? Do you visit other communities where you can gather information as well? Because information gathering is good, you can have it in a conversation with persons, even on the phone. You can develop yourself. And you us all remember, we all need to be on the cutting edge of time. Because what? Time waits on no man. So if you're living, say, in North Carolina, it doesn't mean that you cannot know about what takes place in South Carolina or in Florida or in New York. So that when you want to make a decision about maybe moving or doing some business, you say, oh, some time ago I had really researched about this in these states. Or you'd want to go to another country outside of this present country that you're living in. You'd have to do some feasibility studies, some form of studying, so you can understand the language they speak, the culture they have, the way they behave, the practices that they have. Then if you don't like them, those practices are things you will not push yourself. And when you're there now, you become confused. Because I try to read as much, even when I go online, about other countries in the world. I can't read enough. Sometimes when I'm reading something, it's like I can't even move. I am so impressed to stay on, right? Because knowledge is power. Knowledge is power, right? Knowledge is power. We have to share knowledge. We have to learn. We have to empower ourselves. We don't empower ourselves. We are lessening our abilities to converse, and we are lessening our abilities to help others. You know, you may have children, you may not, but that doesn't mean that you're not going to help persons, right? You must always help. Okay. Okay. Do you believe in birthday celebrations or wedding anniversaries? Or I know of places in some countries, when a person die, they have what is known as a funeral service for the person, meaning that a program is planned for that day when the person is to be buried, and persons give their contribution in the form of what they are going to say. Some do items, some sing, some give remembrance and tributes. And at the end of all this program now, It is called the funeral service. Then they go for the burial, right? Sometimes, if the body is cremated, they will take it into the urn at the church where the service is being held. And when it's time for burial, no, they will do the necessary burial with the urn, with the body that has been cremated into the urn, and they put it into the ground, right? And also, some countries, they keep a thing like a party the night before the wedding. Sorry, the night before the burial. They call it the nine nights. So sometimes, in most cases, a person die and they wait what until day 10 to bury the person, because the night before the funeral they call it wake or nine night. It's like a party. You have music, you have eating, people trying to be happy, to encourage those that are mourning, to make them feel that they are not alone. But after the burial, then they have what is known as a repast, which is coming together to have meals. They eat and try to be happy, because you want those who are mourning to be happy. So they have a meal with them, the last meal with them before they depart to their different homes, and that is called a repast. Now after that repast, everybody goes to their different homes. Now at the end of the repast, you would not. Sometimes the family would be longing for persons to stop by, but persons have gone back to their jobs and the different things that they were doing before the person had died, the other person had died, and it becomes acceptable now that okay, John died and was buried, and we had a repast, and now everybody's gone home, so we are now left by ourselves to pick up the pieces. It might sound hard, but that's how it is done in some countries. And in some people, in some countries as well, they don't do all of those merrymaking and dancing and partying. They simply set a date and go to the parlor that manages everything, and just have a little program, maybe for an hour, and they do all of that, and then everything is done. And these days, you have more persons doing cremation than the actual burying of the body into a casket. Because at one point I am told it is cheaper to do a cremation than to do the actual burying of the body. Because they have to prepare the body, dress it up, fix it up. They have to buy the casket and all of that. Prepare to do, some pay persons to do dressing up of the dead to get them for that service. So what they do now, they realize that sometimes persons go back to the grave and try to take out the body, take away the clothes, or if they were buried with jewelry or anything. And sometimes they throw out the bodies and take away the casket. That's what they do in some countries. So what is happening now? When they cremate, there's no casket for you to take, there's no clothes for you to take away. All that is there is the urn with the ash of the body. So nobody wants going to take the ash. Nobody wants to take an urn, because what are you going to do with the urn? You would not put the urn in your house as a vase. It's like the urn acts as a casket. You know? So people appear differently to do different things when they have to plan a funeral. I hope I'm making it clear. In comparison to a birthday celebration, which I know you guys, birthday celebrations are almost the same wherever I go. They have a lot of food to eat, and everybody's happy and laughing and chirpy, and the place is nicely dressed, very nicely arranged, right? And everybody dressed up nicely because they're going to eat and have fun. And some birthdays, you're asked to bring a gift, or sometimes you take something along. And sometimes they say, don't bring any gift, just come and enjoy and share. That's for birthday celebration. Anniversaries now are, for example, persons who have gotten married, and they have different things. They have 5 year, they have golden jubilee, you have silver, and different categories that they go according to the amount of the years. Now, when they are celebrating anniversaries, they sometimes what they do, they tend to want to dress up again, like when, and behave as if they are just getting married. So you find them. I've seen it done at my church too. They hold hands and walking up the aisle. Some go back and put on their wedding dress if they have it, if it can fit, or they wear some very nice outfit and very nice hairdo, and they look gorgeous walking up with wherever the aisle are. Sometimes they do it at a popular restaurant or so with their husband or their wife, and you want to see them, because after they are married over the many years. I looked at one that was doing a 35 years. Sometimes during the span of time, they don't remember that they could take a fork full of food and put into the wife, or the wife put into the husband's mouth. They don't remember to do that. What they do, they just hurry. This one has to get to work this time, that have to get to work. So very rare they will spend a little time to say bird feed each other, give each other a little, little nice. So that's how I see where they really do that. And the couple were elderly people. And I see one where they have done 65 years of being together. That is great. Great, great. My parents did 60 years, you know, before they passed on. So it's great when people can spend time like that together. So that will help to reduce divorce rates. Mm-hmm. Will reduce divorce rates. So persons would not be readily, as something happens, they go on to the lawyer to salvage everything they are going to divorce. The less divorce you have, the better I think the homes would be. But people make up their mind to what they want to do, right? So, right? So that's what, and it's nice when you see you go through celebrating 5, 10, 15-year anniversary with the same partner and you have children. They look upon their parents with dignity and pride. If mommy and daddy can be like this after so many years, why can't we try just the same? Right now, those parents are setting examples for their children. Mm-hmm. And some relationships, when you're going into them too, and you learn that either person's parents were divorced, it makes you a little reluctant to want to go into that relationship because you're having a fear now that your marriage, you may end up in a divorce, right? You may end up with a divorce. So you're not going to be so comfortable. But it doesn't necessarily have to happen. It doesn't necessarily have to happen. But that little tinge of doubt lingers in your mind. And if it does happen, now you're going to hold on to it to say, oh, her parents or his parents were divorced, so see what happens. I should have known. No, it doesn't mean that because that happened with his or her parents, it must happen with you. It doesn't have to. But you want to be realistic. You want to have an open mind, right? So it's best when you know some things, you know how to tread along. You know to make decisions. You don't go into it blindly. And some people think that because they were hurt during their parents' marriage, they think that they should do the same to their marriage, hurt somebody else. No, I don't think so. You should be genuine with each other and try to make the marriage work. So guys, how have your lunch been? How have your lunch been? Are you having lunch wherever you are now? Are you having breakfast? I don't know if you're having dinner. I have not had lunch as yet. I had breakfast late. And I'm not going to have the lunch until another 3 hours or 4. And then later on, then I'll have some dinner. Sometimes I don't have a heavy breakfast. I take a light lunch because I had a heavy breakfast and I had it really late. Really late, about 11 o'clock. So I'm not going to be that hungry now to go after lunch. I messed up my eating habits since we are having the winter because it's like you have to force yourself to eat. You're not hungry. You're not even thirsty. You don't even want water to drink. Mm-mm. Seems like one person is hanging on with me. Yeah, everybody. Hey, everybody. Hey, everybody. This is a very beautiful day. Oh, what a beautiful day. It's sun shining outside. It's cold outside just the same. We're having a cold sunshine. Cold sunshine. But it's beautiful looking outside at the sunlight. Makes the place feel a little different. So, guys, what's happening in your neck of the woods? What's happening in your neck of the woods? I saw in the news where I read, because I'm always reading, where I read that this what should I say? This father figure person from a community. He always helps those who are unfortunate, who couldn't go to school. He would assist them, but he was he was made unalive a few days ago, and they are still investigating what could have caused it, but they have not. Nothing has yet been put out really. But it's sad when you have to lose somebody, and it's sad when somebody gets sick because you go to bed, you see some people they are going around, they are looking quite healthy. They themselves don't know that they are not well until something strikes them. Until something strikes you, but the person showed no sign. That's how many of us, our body's resistance. We show no sign of anything and we look as if we are okay and we act normal because we don't have any signs or symptoms. Okay. Yeah. Give me a second, guys. Just a second. I'm coming. I'm coming. Wow, I return. I return. Well, nobody's there. Nobody is on yet. Okay. All right. Another point I want to raise was I have about 2 more points before I start to move to getting ready. I've seen a few some time ago where two bodies were found unalive at the wheels of the JetBlue airline, and up to date I don't think those bodies were fully identified because three mothers have come forward to say that those boys are theirs. But up until now, in Jamaica, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has said that they are not Jamaicans. We don't know. Then some family members from Dominica, another country, kept saying that. So, but they have not finalized it. But the two guys have died. They, I don't know how they got onto the plane, and they were hidden in the section where the wheel is. You know, when the plane takes off, the wheel is pushed into a compartment there. So they were there in that section. That's where they found them. So when they found them, they were already passed. They were already gone. So they are still investigating. Nothing has come of that yet. And I'm going into the last thing now. That should end my life. I want to talk a little about Bounty Killer, a very popular entertainer from Jamaica. He is like a grandfather to dancehall. He's a young man. I won't say young as young, but he's a big man. And he is very popular. And many of the dancehall artists came out of his training. They watched him and he taught them, and they go around with him. Even Spice, quite a number of persons big him up. He's well recognized. And persons are looking at it to say that couldn't he be made king of dancehall? Because they are looking at Vybz Kartel. And I don't think Vybz Kartel would have minded because they both share a good relationship. If Bounty was made king of dancehall, I see another person, Yellow Man, came out to say that he's the king of dancehall. Maybe at his time when he started in the mid 80s, he would have been probably be seen as king. But maybe at that time. So maybe I think what they should do in regulating who is king and queen of dancehall, because presently now, Spice is the queen of dancehall. And maybe what they can do, what I think, is have a committee and allow persons to be nominated and have some criteria where after persons are nominated among a team of persons, then the person can be crowned. Whether they're going to give the person a one, to me, doing it every year, I don't know. I think they need more time, maybe 2 years. Give them a 2 year span and allow them to perform the role of a king or queen of dancehall. They may get it again a second time around, but I think depending on how persons deliver and the content that they do put out should enhance persons being nominated and be selected to be in that position of being king or queen of dancehall. So guys, what do you think? I'm thinking that there will not be just selected like that. There has to be some criteria. And I'm looking at it to say, I'm not saying that Yellow Man could not be selected, but I'm looking at it to say, Bounty was Bounty before Yellow Man. Somebody could remind me. I know Yellow Man was coming from in the 80s. I remember listening to him in the mid 80s. I remember at what point Bounty Killer came in. But I know Yellow Man had drawn a lot of people in his time, but it's quite a while now. So maybe during his reign, when he was made popular, he probably could have been selected as a king for dancehall. But he has been out a number of years now, so I don't know how they would choose somebody who has been out. I think the person should be still in when they are going to be nominated. Right? If you are going to be outside of it during the nominating period, they are not a part of the thing. I don't know how best you would fit in. But the time when you're active in it, where you can be selected, I think I agree with that point that I just made. But if you're out of it, nobody knows about you if you're doing anything. Well, personally, I'm not hearing anything from Yellow Man. I see Vybz Kartel putting out a lot, and Vybz Kartel name has gone so far and wide now, more so that he was incarcerated for 13 years. and he has won his case with the Privy Council. So that's what allows him to be, out now. And he still has songs putting out, and he's integrating into the society. He's giving his contribution in the form of donations to institutions. So, we could look at areas like that. You don't only tell yourself that you're a king, and what else? What do you do? How do the way in which we select Miss World in the Miss World competition? It should be something like that, but maybe not the similar questions, because the question that they ask Miss World, you wouldn't go and ask a dancehall king those questions. So the question have been formulated surrounding the environment of the musical industry, because dancehall music is really in the entertainment section of the music, right? So, and people tend to me, I realize, likes to follow dancehall music, right? They say it expresses themselves. I'm a person who had liked soft music, but I also dancehall music also makes you more want to dance and jump out. The lyrics are conscious; you can relate to the lyrics, but it's kind of vibesy, makes you want to dance. Mhm. Okay, so guys, what do you think about persons being selected whenever they are to be selected as a dancer king? What do you think? Wait, they should have a committee set up, man. They shouldn't just wait. Just like when they have sportsman and woman of the year. They have a period for it. I don't know the exact period that they give them to reign, and then they come back. I don't think it's yearly. I think it's every 2 years or so. I stand to be corrected, guys. I'm not too sure. But what I'm trying to say is they should organize a committee, organize a grouping that will meet, make plans for that event. And that event can be international, because the music that these people make is not only sold in Jamaica, it's sold in other countries. See, when Vibes Cartel was being um, allowed to promote his Freedom Street concert. Look at the people, look at the place was filled to capacity. The place could not hold any more people. It just couldn't hold, right? So, it tells, and persons wanted to see him, although we see him on television. I've never met him in person, but persons want to see him because several times we were told that he was sick, and they put him in some dark room or whatever the punishments were. They were making him sick because he had what was known as a grave disease, right? And he was sick, but God help him, and he got his freedom, and he's out. He has been out from quite a few months now, and he's still doing his music, still entertaining people, and he's also writing his songs. He said he had so many songs written, but I don't follow this song because sometimes I cannot relate too clearly to the word, but there are some songs that are outstanding that I like. But as I say, dancehall music puts you in a vibes mood, makes you want to dance, make you jump up. So even if you're unhappy with a situation, there's a music to pull you from that situation to make you feel a little happier, right? Okay. So that's what I want to share. Guys, I hope that your afternoon is okay, and that you're trying to make the best of the little that you have. I'm going to run along now, get something to eat. I don't want to eat before you guys. Okay, I mess up myself. I'm going to drink some goat soup because outside is a little cold. So I'm going to warm up my body. So when I get back, I won't feel that cold. Because when the time in winter, I drink a lot of soup. It helps. By the time you start drinking the hot chocolate, you're halfway, the chocolate is cold. You have to put some more hot water or something else in it. But with the soup, I manage. I manage. So guys, for the rest of the day, I hope to get on later. I hope I find you and I see more persons coming on. So I'm going to tell you to hang in there. Don't give up. Whatever the situation is, hang in there and hang on tight, tight, tight. Tight, tight, tight. See you around. Remember, When you go to my channel to watch the videos, you're going to subscribe, you're going to share, you're going to like, you're going to write a comment, and you're going to put on your notification bell so that when I drop a video, you'll be the first one to hear. When I go live, you'll be the first one to know, right? Because some persons I know, they're not able to watch the entire video at one time. They have to divide their time into going to do something else. They may be at work at the time, the shift that they're on doesn't allow them. So all of those things I take into consideration because I do I do read other people's comments. I'm a part of other person's channel. So I join other persons, I follow other persons. So I know what it is. But we all have to encourage each other. If I was on your channel, you'd be encouraging me just the same. So I'm encouraging you to what? To like, subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And if you have subscribed already, thank you. And some persons go back and watch we call it dead live, because they were not able to join the live at the time. I thank you just the same. Every little bit counts. Every little bit counts. If you're going to think of just jump up big, it may not work. So you take your time, climb the ladder. And that's what I believe. Climbing the ladder slowly, I will reach to the top. And when I go, I pull you up. And when you go, you pull me up. So we will always be lifting each other up, up, up. Have a good afternoon. Have a good evening. Until we meet again on a live or in a video. See you around. Bye bye.